Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello. I'm sorry, I'm still adjusting my mic, everybody. But hello and welcome to BKS1 Radio, the Out Show. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel. And I am here and blessed on another Tuesday to be in the building and ready to talk to our guests for tonight. But before I do that, and before I bring the coach, our relationship coach, Trev, into the virtual building, I just want to talk to you guys, a little bit about your week. How are you doing? Talk to me in chat. Let me know exactly what's been going on, how you've been feeling, and, what's new, what's the latest. I want to, like I always start, I want to talk to, some of my sisters. Okay. Did you guys see the premiere? Because I haven't watched it yet, and actually I am going to watch it when I get home from here. So there was the Lifetime special. You guys remember the movie back in the day, Single White Female, where there was a woman that was obsessed with another woman, kind of wanted to take over her life and cause all this mayhem. And I think at the end of the day, wanted to kill her, this, that, or the other. Either way, everybody, they did a remake of that. And you saw her, Miss Raven Goodwin. She was in the beginning in our little, intro session thing that we have here. And my question to you is, what were your thoughts on it? Again, I'm going to watch it when I get home this evening, but I wanted to know what you all thought about it. Obviously, we know the outcome, and obviously, we know what happened. If you watched the movie back in the, what was it, the 80s or the 90s that this came out? I'm not even sure when the film came out, but I do remember seeing it. But I want to know what you guys think about it. And the crazy part is both of these actresses look so much alike, and I never thought about it before. I can't think of the other sister's name. You guys can shout it to me in the chat. But they look so much alike. It was so crazy to me every time I saw the previews for it. But, it looks like it's going to be good. I am hella interested in it. And again, I'm going to watch it tonight, and I'll let you all know my thoughts on it for next week. But it led me into like a lot of these crazy behaviors from us, from our sister girls, right? So I was also watching the finale of Power. Now, if you're not a Power fan, then, I get it. But spoiler alert, I am going to talk about the ending. So if you need to walk away right now because you haven't watched it yet from Sunday night, then just turn me down for a little bit, and then you can turn me back up in the next few minutes or so when I'm done. But crazy behaviors from us sister girls. Somebody tell me what's up with the daughter. Please. Please help me. Because I didn't know that I was this gangster until watching shows like this, where I'm like, well, she just needs to die. Somebody just needs to kill her. She talked too much. She run her mouth too much. She causing too much mayhem. She's causing too much drama. Somebody just really needs to get rid of her. And again, I didn't even know I had that in me, and I did not know I was like that until I started watching shows like this, everybody. But yeah, I feel like she needs to go. What is that crazy behavior with her? What is that about? Is it attention that she needs? You know what? It's attention that so many people need. I'm sorry, there was something like on me. It's always attention that people need, and I personally, I don't know. I don't get it. But either way, a lot of good television that has been coming on this weekend. This new weekend coming up, everybody, is the beginning of Valentine's weekend because Valentine's Day falls on a Monday. So you have people who are celebrating either this weekend or next weekend. I mean, it's up to you because it's during the week. So let me know, what are you guys doing? Are you celebrating? Is it Valentine's Day? Is it Lover Appreciation Day? Is it Singles Awareness Day? How are you guys celebrating? Ooh, or is it Galentine's Day? I think I have some Galentine's Day plans as well. Some Valentine's Day plans. But, what is it for you? What are you guys going to be doing this weekend or next weekend? What do you have coming up? Talk to me in the chat. Let me know. Is it even still a thing? Does it matter now? Like, once we got past elementary school and we got past handing the little cards out with the lollipops and the candy, well, the good ones were the candy. But once we got past, that, does it even matter anymore? Does it only matter when you're dating? When you're in a relationship and you're in a marriage, does that stuff even matter anymore? Should you still do those things? Do you go with, oh, it's just a holiday, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, we don't need to do that, we show love 365, we don't need a special day, that's for people that don't do it all the time, Ladies, have you heard that one? Because I did. Not now, but I have in the past. But anyway, let me know what you guys are doing because that's coming up as well. But in the meantime, while we are on the love topic, you guys, if you have watched us year after year, around this time, he's been a part of our male perspective when we have all the guys in the studio. He's been a part of our male panel where, because it's ladies right here on the show. It's ladies right here on the show. So obviously we need input, from our counterparts. So he's been a part of that. He is an author. He is a coach. He has, a wonderful perspective that, whether you agree with him or not, you get exactly what he's saying by the end of what, his conversation or discussion. And I say it all the time. His book literally has changed my life in relationships and in dating. Just his chapter alone of, and I say this all the time, and it's, stop making ish up. It's not ish, but stop making ish up. That chapter alone changed my life. And I have been telling this story year after year because I was one of those women that I thought that if a man said this, it meant that. Or if he did this, it meant that. And I had to learn, sweetheart, you're just using your imagination and inferring things where they don't need to be. And the sooner you stop that and the sooner you cut that out, the better off you'll be with, dealing in reality and dealing with logic and easier to move. So I'm going to welcome him to the show. Let me bring him into the virtual building now. Hold on. Let me see. Let him in. Here we go. We are letting in. Hold on. Stick with me, everybody. Trev, are you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. We cannot see you, though.
Yeah, I don't know why. Hold on. Oh, okay, there it is. It's my
You
fault.
there? Hey, there you go. Wait a minute. Let me see. Can I do the, where's the thing? Why can't I pin you? Wait, hold on.
Where am I at?
Oh, I think you might be already. Hold on. And pop out. And here. And here. Hey, there you are. We got you. You are here.
How are you?
Yes, you are live. You are on the Owl Show, and everybody is looking at you right now. Don't get nervous.
No, I'm okay.
I'm joking with you. How are you? It's 2022.
I know. I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm here. I'm in the building. I'm still around,
Wonderful.
So that is a blessing in and of itself. How is 2022 treating you? I know all of us have stories between 2019 and now, which, all seem like a breeze that we've gotten this far. But how has it been treating you?
My family is great. Everything is going well, I would say, considering all of the chaos that has happened in the last 2 years. But everything is well over here.
Good. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so I'm still sitting here seeing if I can try to pin you. No, that's not working. Sorry, I'm just kind of playing around, people.
That's okay.
Huh? Okay. But in the meantime, I switched it back. Love and relationships. The beginning of 2022. You know we always have to come and speak to you during the beginning of the year. You know, we have to make sure we get your perspective on, you know, how we should be doing things, whether we're dating, in a relationship, married, looking for marriage, whatever it is. You know, we have to get your perspective on what we should be doing, because are you still relationship coaching?
Spare time. You know, usually when someone kind of falls upon something on my page and they kind of hit me up, I've been, you know, for the last 2 years, I would say definitely focused on fatherhood, which is, you know, as a parent, you know, is a full-time job.
I would say a never-ending job. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do have some people that still reach out to me, and you know, in the process of writing a second book, I've had people reaching out, but I haven't publicized coaching this past year.
Okay. Are you going to go back into publicizing that, or?
Yeah. I you know, again, I kind of focused on other, I would say, ventures, and including, like I said, being a father with my daughter and my son being so young.
Yes.
But yes, you know, especially as I gear up to kind of put out my second book, you know, with everything behind that, I'm going to open up some sort of course, or, you know, I'm actually kind of linking up with a clinical psychologist, I hope soon, to bring some sort of consumable course that people can, not necessarily course, but just like a source of information on different scenarios, because there's so many different ways people, or so many different scenarios people are in right now, single or not single, you know, that what you call situationship, just breaking up. So, you know, I have perspectives on them all, but, you know, as you know from my book, there's a kind of a core knowledge I want somebody to understand before they can apply anything to their specific situation. So, you know, I should be putting something like that out hopefully by the summer.
Good. Well, listen, okay. So since we have you now, we can use this as kind of a recap for anyone who doesn't have your first book while we're anticipating the next one. I need to have the second copy. Okay. I don't know. You know, I'm sure your wife is going to be reading, and okay, so maybe the third copy, but I need to have the third copy of this book, because like I said before, you definitely have chapters in the book that have changed my life, that have changed me and my outlook and the way I handle myself in relationships and how I process things. So I am heavily anticipating the release of your second version.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But no pressure.
No, just summertime. Listen, my birthday is June 2nd, so if you wanted to do anything around that time period, you know, just you know, no pressure. But you know, if you want like a book release / birthday party, we can come together, you know, and create some sort of event. But you know, just let me know, you know.
I got you. You know what, cryptocurrency and that whole topic is kind of, it's steering me away, but you know, my passion is to kind of get some more material out. So again, I'm aiming for the summer for sure.
Well, love is, I mean, obviously with cryptocurrency, that's lucrative, but love is going to follow you, you know. Everybody, as long as we're humans on this planet, we're going to need help when it comes to love and, you know, and how to maintain it.
Absolutely.
So if we're doing just a quick synopsis for anyone who has not read your previous book, tell us the title again, which is still on my shelf at home, but tell us the title to your previous book and what the premise of it is.
Well, the first book was called Never Settle, the essential guide to finding and keeping your ideal mate. just with my personal experience and, interviewing at the time, like 300 married and divorced couples over a course of like 3 years, I decided to kind of, especially after kind of going through my own situation, I kind of decided to put all of that information into a book. And I would say one of the core principles is logic and emotion. Like I think a lot of people associate love and, with different things that they've been given to them since they were children, or, as they watch television, listen to music. But I think the approach that was given to me was to look at things logically and emotionally. And throughout that book and personal experience and everything that I've gained, I kind of put it all in one book. And I was shocked by not shocked, but I was blown away by the response.
Yeah.
And, so right now, the second book is kind of leading along those same lines. But I know we were talking about Valentine's Day, and I kind of wrote some things down that, are kind of from the first book, but you would kind of have to read the first book to understand my perspective on some of the things that I'm about to share.
Yes. Okay. I mean, do you want to share them now?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, so the one thing that I think people, I would say people should understand the most, and this can go for anyone. I was talking to my wife the other day about how difficult it really is to find somebody that you really, really dig and you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Like, that sounds so easy. Especially people who've been married for a while, they can kind of sometimes talk about it as if it's like this easy thing. And it's really, really, really not, because anything can go wrong. Anything can derail that process from happening. From being late on the first date and you rub them the wrong way and that date never progresses, and I always kind of encourage people to I know there's this fateful thing where if it's meant to be, it'll be, but you have to take some sort of responsibility to say, if I do this, this happens. If I don't do this, this doesn't happen. But, it's very difficult to kind of pinpoint what you might have done differently that could have led this particular person and you to be in this long-term relationship. It's hard to pinpoint those things. But you have to understand that you play a role in what's happening or not happening. Yeah. And it's not necessarily your fault. Like sometimes you may bump into somebody and they're having a bad day and you don't know that. Yeah. And in theory, this person might have been the perfect person for you. And it was just in that moment, you needed to make the right connection and it would have gone somewhere. But you just responded to that person in the wrong, not even the wrong way. You didn't do anything wrong, but it just wasn't right for that person at that moment. Right. And connection broken. We're not even talking about 2 years into a relationship where you're having issues with living with each other. I'm talking about that connection was broken before we even started. Yeah. So everything matters. You can, I'm not sugarcoating it like everything matters. Even when you think of the athlete, the athlete trains and practices all this time, but when they get into a game, if they go left when they should have went right, again, no one would know if they should go left or right because no one has been in that moment before. That's a current thing happening. But if they go left instead of right and they lose the game, that matters. You can't say, well, it wasn't meant to be. You can say that, but and it's not even their fault because this athlete has performed on the highest level all the time. It's just they're human, and not even that they made a mistake. It was just the wrong decision in that moment. Yeah, and so. You have to think of your love life and your business life and your health as if every moment counts. Like that cheeseburger does matter. I know it doesn't seem like it. It's only one, but do it again tomorrow and do it again the day after.
That cigarette does matter. All matters.
You can't say it was meant to be. You kind of relieve yourself of all the power to do anything, to make any change in your life. So,
and the responsibility.
But it's easy to kind of say, I can see how some people say, oh, Trevor, I don't meet that many people. Well, I mean, here's the cause and effect, right? Like you're not engaged in anything that would get you in front of people. Right. Oh, right. Trevor, I'm in front of a bunch of people, but nothing ever manifests. Well, what's your energy toward even meeting someone? Because if I can assure you that if you feel that running into the love of your life is probably not going to happen today. It's probably not going to happen today. Because again, everything matters. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not an easy thing. So you kind of have to not be obsessed with it or paying attention to it, especially as guys. Most of us are not like, some people are helpless romantics and all that stuff, but it just pays to have a clear understanding of what you need and what you want. And then as you move along with any one particular person or persons, as quick as you can, see if what you need can be met there, and what they need, if it's something you can and even want to meet as far as their needs go. Yeah. And kind of move from that point. Now, obviously, I feel there's a lot more to that topic, but everything matters. You are the athlete. Like, the game is on you. You can make the right decision or the wrong decision.
And I'm glad you said that, because there are so many people that have this philosophy, male and female alike, that, oh, well, the right one will come along when it's supposed to be the right time, or I'll bump into somebody when I'm supposed to just bump into somebody, or I feel like as soon as I get to this phase of life, then this will work out and then everything will be fine and I'll meet someone then. Or, you hear that a lot from men and from women. And the fact of the matter is that we've been hearing it in our teens. We've been hearing it in our 20s. We've been hearing it in our 30s. Some of us are in our 40s. Some of us are in our 50s. And it's like you're coming past this midlife threshold and you're still leaving it to chance and to fate, instead of, like you're saying, you're the athlete in that situation and you can go out there and you can make something happen. It puts the responsibility and the onus on you, instead of everything has to be faith in this higher power. And even if you do believe in faith, you're not giving God, universe, whatever it is you believe in, anything to work with.
There's still a level of, I believe, fate, right? Like, I do believe there's a higher power, and for all we know, there's obviously a plan, or not obviously a plan, for whoever believes that, but the athlete can't control where the ball is going to fall. The athlete can only control what their response is to that, right? So there's certain things that we can and cannot control, and that's fine. Like, I can't control the fact that I'm not 6'2". If I was 6'2", and I was in college, I'd have been a problem. But I wasn't 6'2". I was 5'9". I had to, I'm cool with that. But you kind of have to, you just kind of have to go with what you're given. But at the same time, when you have the opportunity, it's not a matter of right or wrong as far as who you are at your core. It's just, in that moment, which decision would have favored you more had you made it. Or if you made it. Like, my wife and I, we were talking, there's just so many little things. Like, if she had responded to me in a different way at that time, I might have, at that time, I might have taken it as like an insecure, like it might have hit my insecurity, and I might have taken it as a diss to me. Yeah. If she was just like a little hesitant, but she was kind of like embracing, like, yo, I recognize that you're a dope dude. Like, without saying it, like, I felt that immediately. Yeah. But if she was just a little hesitant, and that time, at my mind frame at that time, being single, I was just like, I'm not wasting time with anybody that's not giving me the energy I want. Like, that already qualifies you as where I'm going to put you in my life. Yeah. So that was just one thing that could have went wrong. There's just so many little things that could have gone wrong. And then to be, this long with my wife, one of the special things about relationships, if you find the right one, is that the time spent. Like, if you meet somebody at 45 and then they're 45, Miles Monroe said, in one night, you got 90 years of unknown history together. So the more time you spend with them, the more shared history. Like, I spent a quarter of my life with my wife. Now, that's 75% of my life I spent without her. So that's a lot of history that makes me the insecure or the confident or the strong man that I am. Yeah. But I do have a quarter of my life spent with her at this point. So that's what makes us special.
And I'm glad you brought up that point. We talked about it last week. So last week I had my friend Yusuf in the studio. I think you met him on the panel. When you were when you were here in the studio a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about he's dating, and we were talking about meeting the right person, and we were talking about meeting the right person at this particular age, so we're both in our early 40s, and he was saying he was coming across a lot of women that are like, oh, well, I'm still young. And by the time you wine and dine and court me for the next 5 years, and then we decide this, that, or the other. And he's like, wait a minute, hold on now. We already almost, mid 40s. So when are you talking about really sealing the deal and solidifying this? And I was saying the same thing. All of this, we have all of this time to do all of these things before we actually find our partner and settle down, it's almost like a myth. It's like the arrogance of time at this point, because the world isn't even set up for you to find partners later on in life. We started talking about mortgages, and we were talking about if you want a 30-year fixed rate mortgage and you're not getting married until 46, are you not paying off your home until 76 when, by America's standards at that point, you should be looking for your forever home, your vacation home, your retirement, and you're still at step one because you're just getting to this phase where people in other races got to this step 20, 30 years prior to you. Even getting a timeshare. If you get a timeshare now and it's a 15 to 20 year timeshare, are you zip lining through the woods at 65? Hopefully so. But the point is that you target 20 somethings for timeshare because they're still going to be at the parties and the activities 20 years from now when they're still doing things with their family. Are they going to be doing that at 65, 66? Probably not. You know what I mean? So it's the world is designed for you to find a mate earlier. Now, if things don't work out, and, if something happens, you lose a spouse, God forbid, I completely understand. But for those people who are continuing to wait on purpose, I don't know. I find, if it works for them, it works for them. But honestly, I find a bit of issue with that. Me personally.
I would say I agree with most of what you said. The one thing I do want to take off the table is that the world is designed for you to meet. I do agree with that too. I agree with that to a degree.
Okay.
But for my older people who are going to find love this year, and I say older, older than me, I'm 40. Mm-hmm. I say, it's designed just right for you. You know what I mean? Because I don't want that person to lose hope and think that, they're not going to find love. It's just not going to look like what has been painted it should look like, which is, who kind of made that up, right?
Right.
So I know that's not what you're saying, but I want to make sure that the person hearing that doesn't feel like it's like, oh, well, they're not talking to me. Like, no, you still, you just, again, you have to figure out your blueprint, like what you want. As far as the people who are kind of waiting, it really does, like, even, the woman who asked me about, how should she know if a guy wants marriage and all that stuff, it's like, why does a guy need to be with just you? Like, is there, like, what's the selling point? If you need to have a selling point, but, at the same time, it's I grew up without my father and my mother in the house. You know what I mean? So, looking at my situation specifically with my mom, that was a driving force for me. So I knew at some point I wanted to be married, and I had like reasons for it, even as a child. Now I still had to go through that certain young guy phase, if you will. But at the core of me was what I wanted. So somebody who's kind of delaying, even at that certain age, maybe there's a fear, or again, this is that shared history, because they every year that they're not spending with the person they're going to spend the rest of their life with, that's time they're taking away from that shared history they could be building together, and it's time they're giving with another person that's not supposed to be in that spot. So adding more baggage to the shared history that they're going to bring if and when, and again, if they meet the person they're going to spend the rest of their life with. So I realized this year, you asked about the past 2 years, There are some people close to me that have had challenges health-wise, and one thing I recognize for sure, and I always have, but I definitely now, is time is important. Like, you could waste it if you want, but when you're out of it, you're gonna wish you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned the love blueprint. So for anybody who is just watching you, for the first time today, tell us what, because that is from your book, Never Settle. Tell us exactly what a love blueprint is.
Wow. Just the easiest way to put it is understand. This is the easiest way to put it. I obviously, writing a book, I try to explain it as best I can because it's not a movie. I don't have to do it quickly. I can take my time. But in essence, it's trying to figure out exactly, or being honest about who you are logically. Forget how you feel, just the type of person you are, what you feel you would need, the type of wife you would be in a relationship, because you can decide the type of wife or husband you're going to be before you even marry. Of course, certain things are going to be altered based on who you're with. But you at your core, you're going to be yourself. You're not going to change for someone for the most part. So it's knowing who you are and what you need to be happy in a relationship, and then evaluating that as you're dating. If your purpose is to find somebody that's a good fit. Now, in your hiring process, so to speak, you have to realize you're also being interviewed. So if this person has their own blueprint, you're trying to match that up without really saying it. It's just understanding, unless you want to waste time. For me, at a certain point, and I realize a lot of people who've come to me over the years don't want to waste time anymore. Yeah. So it's about it's again, that's a simplification of it, but it's really understanding, and then understanding how your brain works and how the same things that you hear in finance, the law of attraction, and, all that stuff matters in every area of your life. There's no doubt about that. So if you have an image in your head right now that doesn't look like what you think your love life should be, and if you're always constantly thinking of, what's wrong, and sometimes that's not even a conscious thought, but a lot of the wrong is being attracted. 100%. Some of it is not your doing. Remember, some things have to do with fate. You can't control where the ball falls or where the punch is coming from. But as the athlete, you constantly trying to make yourself better, so that when you're in that moment, when that guy says, do you know where such and such is? And you say it's over there, and he says, thank you. Listen, that was a great interaction. You could have said something else that might have made him say something back to you. Right. That's not your fault, but again, everything matters. Like everything matters. Everything matters. One of the reasons why my wife and I don't argue, like, we disagree, but we'll never and haven't ever raised our voices or anything like that, because that, early on, I knew that affected the love story. At this point, it's just a habit. Like, it's not about hiding how you feel. It's just like, let me control how I say something, or let me think about what I'm gonna say before I just fire off, like, just talking because I feel a certain way. Yeah. Your feelings lie to you. People make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions all the time. Like, there's plenty of people that get pregnant every year because they make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. Like, there's no shade in that. We all have done something like that. Yeah. So, just being in control.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, every time you say that, you're like, yeah, me and my wife don't argue. I'm like, God, I love that. that is absolutely
again,
amazing.
I can't even, it's not like I don't wear that as a badge or anything, because I know it's kind of like a momentum thing. It's kind of like not even luck, but it's like once you kind of cross that barrier, and it's like, you might, like, why would I? It's like Jordan not leaving in '93. It's like, just stay and keep winning. Like, don't leave, don't mess it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot of things in your relationships are about momentum. Like, sometimes momentum is going to get derailed because life happens, but for the most part, you try to keep momentum forward, because if you're not growing in some fashion, you're definitely dying. There's nothing on the planet that's staying the same. It's either growing or it's dying. That's it.
Glad you said that.
Loud.
Now, can your love blueprint change or be altered depending upon the relationship that you're in?
I don't want to say no.
Okay.
I don't want to say yes. But when I think of my blueprint, I'm thinking of who I am at my core. Like, I'm so arrogant that this is exactly what I want. I'm willing to die alone if I can't find it. I'm good. Well, this is what I thought as a 30-year-old. You know, and if I take myself out of myself and try to imagine myself in a guy's shoes that's single at my age, that would be dangerous, by the way.
Why would that be dangerous?
I mean, you know, I realize all the not games. I wouldn't never really necessarily got gameplay, but you know, I see how a mature man dating in this age is just all the things you were trying to do when you were young. It's just like that's you know, that's like it's easy. Like you don't have restrictions. You got a car, you know what I mean, or you have a working car. Like I can you know, I've been not single for a long time, so you know, again, it's trying to put myself in shoes I haven't been in for a while. But you know, it's just if you're a guy and have your stuff together, I mean, you know, it's the easiest thing to do is to find a woman that wants to settle down. So I can see how guys act, you know, a certain way because, you know, they kind of, if you have your stuff together,
yeah,
you know, you kind of have more options than not, and you don't have a time frame. You're not trying to have children necessarily, or if you already have children, it's just like, you know, you kind of have to, especially as a woman, you have to understand the game you're playing. Like you have to understand, and that's part of understanding your blueprint.
Yeah.
You know, you come across someone that doesn't match, like they don't want what you want, then there's nothing wrong with that. You can alter it. It depends on what altering is. Like you're not gonna alter who you are. Like if a woman loves affection, she's not gonna say, well, I'm willing to be less affectionate to be with this person. Like that's gonna be a miserable relationship. I like quality time, but you know, he doesn't like spending time, so I'm okay with that. Like, nah. He likes sex, but she just wants to have sex every 2 weeks. Whoa.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Wow.
At all.
Right. Okay. So your love blueprint is basically your core beliefs of what it is, how you see love, and the partner that is going to complement you.
I forget. It's just crazy that I don't remember exactly how I phrased it. I know I quoted Anthony Robbins, and he wasn't talking about love. He was talking about something else. But again, there's certain things that you can change, and there's certain things that you can't change. But you know, again, there's so much blessing in a heartache. I was listening to a Griselda song today, and one of the rappers, Benny the Butcher, was saying there's so much knowledge in being broke. Like he was saying, like he learned. Being broke kind of set him up for his next win, which you know, at this point is a really big win. So, you know, there's so much. If you can gain or look back and kind of gain from what you felt was the biggest pain or biggest pains or setbacks and things of that nature, you're kind of forming what you feel you need based on that. You know, so it's not something that you really change, but I can understand how some people are like, you know, well, Trevor, I might alter it just a little bit because I don't feel like starting over, or, you know, it's not a lot out here, or like I hear it all and I can imagine it. And I don't want to tell people like, it's easy for me to say, just leave that person. Like, it's like, it's easy for me to say that. Like, wow, but you know, again, every moment you spend with the wrong person, that's definitely taking time away from the right person. But you might be that you might be with the right person, but y'all are not approaching it right, and it's going to be hard to change. Like it's so all this stuff is not easy, but everything does matter. So the time that one is taking to figure things out, that time matters, because as we get older, you ain't never getting that time back.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So that leads us into your next book that is going to be coming out. Now, we know the premise of the first one is Never Settle. And, we're talking about love blueprints. We're talking about my favorite chapter of not making things up and so forth and so on. What is going to be the premise of the second one?
Your favorite chapter.
Really?
That's just with when I first wrote that book, when I first started like giving advice and then started leading to the book, I wasn't really trying to. I was kind of going through my own thing, and then, like I said, a couple of people ended up kind of getting married based on like these long conversations I was having with these two young women that I knew. And I was like, that's deep.
Yeah.
So when I started writing, and people were like, oh well, you're not even married yet. But when I published it, they were like, oh, you've been married, or you're not even married yet, or something like that. So it was just interesting that I pulled from all these married and divorced people, not my own necessarily experience. I poured my pain into it and what I learned from that and the people I've interviewed. But at this point, being 10 years in, like the perspective I have with that particular chapter is going specific into that. I just, it's just trying to get people to realize that they control what's happening. And a lot of it starts with the thought that popped in their head just now.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Like I said, that chapter was life-changing to me. And you actually you actually discussed it one time on the show. And you put it like it's the definition you chose to put to an action or something that was said, and this is how you now think about it, but that may not necessarily be what it is, what was said, what's going on. It's just a definition that you chose to attach to it. So it's not necessarily something happening to you, but it could be something that you are doing while in regards to dealing with someone else.
The crazy part is you didn't even realize that you had a thought about it. So you have this whole feeling and in your mind, it is a fact.
Yeah.
Like this person is a fact. You didn't even realize that there was just random thing that somebody said to you a long time ago that made you feel a certain way about how somebody does something, and then this person ends up doing it, and now your brain literally recalled that, and you just had this random thought about it, and now you feel the whole way about this person. And again, everything matters.
Yeah.
So how you feel dictates your behavior or what you do, and whatever you do dictates your outcome. So you could be cold to somebody based on something you felt, and you didn't even date. If you talk to them, they're like, yo, I didn't even really feel that way about you, but you felt that they felt that way about
you.
Right. Like you've ever had this, where you got into an argument with somebody and somebody said something, and then like an hour later or a day later, you start thinking about stuff you wish you would have said that would have been like the nail in the coffin.
Of course.
Like everything matters. I remember I thought about this because I have this like lime green kind of hat here, and I was walking past a group of people that I knew. Real quick story.
Yeah.
And they were, and this one young lady I knew, she kind of said something out loud. I guess she was kind of being funny, which I was okay with because I joke around a lot with her. And she was like, well, we're bright today, aren't we? Now, I don't know what happened. Normally, like, I get like I'm quick sometimes, but I'm not quick. I don't know what came out of me this day, but I was like, I looked to my right. Mind you, was like 5 or 6 people around here just kind of chuckled when she said that, because I had the lime green shoes, Chuck Taylors to max. So I'm bright. I was like, yeah, that's just what stars do. And I just kept walking. And it was like, yo, and I was, in my head, I was like, yo, that I come back like an hour later wishing I said something. But my point is, in that moment, I made, somehow it came to me the right way. And I'm saying that even in dating, even when it comes to Valentine's Day, like everything matters. If you get it right in that moment, success. If you don't, maybe not success you want. I'll give you one funny thing. So some people may interact on Valentine's Day for the first time intimately. Like if you've been out all day, like maybe you don't want to just be spontaneous when it comes to that, because if something is not right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man or woman.
Yeah.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So you would say, well, I was being spontaneous because, this is our third date or whatever. Like, all that's cool, but everything matters.
Yeah.
Like, everything matters. Like, I know men, period, that will just stop, it's over. Like, if it's just the impression, same with women. So you everything matters. You have
she
to
been
be
running
on
around
point.
all
If you're not,
day.
it's not
She needed a
fault,
little
but
deodorant.
You are in control.
Yeah, I said she's been running around all day. She needed a little deodorant, and I didn't like that so much. So like it's over. It's over.
First impressions. You can't change them. And you get different options. The first time we ate together, the first time we slept together, the first time we had an argument. Like, you never get a second chance to make that first impression. So even if my wife and I ever had tension, I'm not even sure if it was, but maybe early on we just established in that moment, like, this is how we deal with our tension, and it's been that ever since. Like, all right, this is it. But in that moment, if we got that wrong, I wouldn't have two kids running, knocking on the door like, Daddy. That's deep. Like, think about that. Like, if I one mistake, then there's two kids that are not even here. So everything matters.
So that thought, that emotion in that moment, in essentially can change your legacy.
It will.
It will change your legacy. Yeah.
It will.
Yeah. The trajectory of your future.
Listen, like, we're in a different world, so like you'll be grateful to have a picture of your great grandmother. Like, you're grateful for it. But you have to understand, when you are the great grandmother, like, there's social media right now, there's telephones, there's paper and pen available. Like, you're going to be more documented than your previous ancestors. So what do you, like, everything you do matters. Yeah, no, nobody's looking now, and you probably won't care because you'll be in the ground. But no, your kids will be studying you.
Yeah.
Make it good. But what you do matters. And you may think nobody's watching now. Give this country, give this world like another 75 years. You'll be surprised what they'll be able to dig up and find about you. And they'll probably be able to upload. You want to upload your lineage? I mean, your ancestors. Here's the last 12 generations, and you're going to be the 12th one.
Yeah.
So, everything matters.
Yeah. I like that. Is that going to be the title of the book, Everything Matters?
Come on, man. Can't be doing that in public. Can't be doing that. You got to talk on the side.
I like that. I really, really like that. Everything matters, because it truly does, especially when you are dealing with other human beings, in any relationship, even in a relationship with yourself, your thought on how you see yourself, how you view yourself, how you should act in any kind of situation, or what you think about. Thinking about what you think are thinking about, all of that matters, but especially, dealing with other human beings and in loving personal relationships, how you interact, every single interaction, every moment, your thoughts and what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're handling situations. Yeah, that it absolutely matters, and it can change the trajectory. It will, like you said, change the trajectory of your future, and it can either create or not create legacy because of something you said and or did today.
I would say I don't necessarily want anyone to think they have to walk on eggshell.
No.
What I am saying is, if you are clear on exactly what you want, and you feel that you can be who you actually are with this person, then it just makes it easier. Like, you don't have to control every thought or anything like that, especially if you can establish who you are, what you need, and then again compare that to the person that you're with, and be honest. Like, time is wasting, so be honest. If they don't match, don't say, well, all right, I'm going to couple that part up, because they're extra fine. Like, no, like, if it's something that's a part of your core, like, be honest about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't have it. They don't, like, if they don't have any desire, because listen, some people can't meet your needs. Some people don't want to. Like, some people, you're like, oh, well, Trevor, they don't meet my need in this area. they don't really have time. But ask them about, the players on their favorite football team, and then Google all this extra stuff. They can Google all that, but they can't Google how to such and such and such and such, which is to meet your need, whatever that is.
Right.
Or even, people make excuses for the things that they don't want, and the things that they do, you never have to talk to them about.
Yeah.
Do they want to do it? They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Even reluctantly, they'll still do it.
Yeah.
But if they're not doing it at all, then don't pray for a miracle, that they're showing you who they are.
Absolutely. 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 I love it. I love it. I love every single time you're on the show. And of course, we're going to have you back. I'm hoping that the world is opening back up so we can start to have some more events and have you there and have you speaking and talking. That was my original goal before everything shut down in the first place. But listen, how can tell everybody how they can find your book Never Settle? Where can you still find it?
Right now it's on Amazon. It's under Never Settle. The Essential Guide to Finding and Keeping Your Ideal Mate. And just find me on social media. I'm posting something. I sometimes get to answer questions. It depends on how long the question is. Sometimes I get a book. I'm like, whoa. But Trevor Trio Scott on Instagram, TikTok too. That's funny. I haven't really TikToked yet, but
okay.
And Facebook, of course. So Trevor Trio Scott.
Okay. All right. So we definitely, like I said, want to have you back before the second book. But when the second book comes out, you have to make sure that I need to read it, because I'm probably going to read it in like a 24 to 48 hour time span. But I need to read it ASAP. So as soon as you have a copy, please let me know, and then we'll have you back on the show to discuss that, promote it, whatever we need to do. If I need to sell some of them myself, you let me know, because like I said, your work, I feel like, has been life-changing. Like you said, you had 2 young ladies that got married. I haven't gotten remarried yet, but it has helped me. It has helped me a lot. So as soon as the next one comes out, I'm ready.
I was gonna say, since that time, I've got about 42 people that text or email me saying they got married. So it's come a long way. And the other thing I was gonna say is, when I wrote my first book, I had about 5 women and a couple of guys too that I was literally sending them the rough drafts just so that I can not be offensive, or maybe I expounded too much on this topic and I had like them rip it apart before I had it edited and all that. So if you remind me, which I'm sure I'll remember, but I got kids, so my brain be.
I understand.
But I'll definitely make sure you're one of those people that I, throw it your way to kind of hear your thoughts.
Yes. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. So please make sure you hit me up.
One last thing too. I actually wrote like almost 50% of it, and my wife and I went to Curacao, and I left it on a plane. And I was devastated. I remember most of it, but sometimes when like clever wording and all that stuff, I was hurt. So somebody in the world, like, I feel like if I was a celebrity, like, and they knew, like, just like that they would have gotten that book they would have got money for that book.
You have probably changed tribes of people at this point, and you don't even know it.
It was 50% written. I was in the book handwritten, but I would say it was at least about 30,000 words. So that was like half my book at least.
Oh my gosh! And they you never got it back. Oh.
I called the airline. I did everything.
Oh man. Oh gosh. Again, you have probably changed nations and islands of people, and you don't even know it.
Don't even know it.
Listen.
If somebody might have actually rewrote parts of it. Like, that'd be crazy if I one day But it was in Curacao, so if you ever in Curacao, you wouldn't even know what the. That's crazy.
I have been trying to get to Curacao. So listen, if I make it there this summer, and someone is quoting something, I'm gonna say,
if they talk about that, stop making up stuff. If you hear that anywhere in there,
I'm gonna say that sounds so familiar. Did you
Actually,
steal a book?
we met a woman down there that kind of sparked a whole conversation about love and how her parents were married for a long time and she was well off and she had maids and stuff, but she saw her parents dancing together and they made the kids watch them dance on Sundays. It was just like, I started writing. I was like, yo, she had me going. Like, she was so deep, like so deep. My wife and I were just there, like, to get away together.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I was really inspired to start writing something, and then left on the plane.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that you remembered most of it. Most of it, and I'm ready for the release in what'd you say? June 2nd, my birthday? That was the release date?
I said something like I said June 1st.
I think did I make that up? I'm not sure, but
you were breaking up. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, did I make that up? Did I make up June 2nd as the release date?
Oh, you're pretend breaking up. I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Well, whatever it is, I'm ready. So we are all looking forward to it here at the station. And again, we look forward to every single time you are going to be on the show. And before the summertime, my hope is to have you back. And I really want to do something in person. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something virtual. We'll talk behind the scenes and figure some things out and see if they fit into your schedule. But again, thank you so much. If anybody wants to find you, they can find you at Trevor Trio Scott on Instagram and on TikTok. And what about if people are looking for any coaching? Are you available for that?
Just reach out on Facebook and see. Let's see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Trev, for being here today, and we will be in touch very, very soon.
Thank you.
Have
a great day.
See you soon. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That is relationship coach to the show, Trevor Trio Scott. We have been talking to him for the past, I'm going to say 3 years or so now. He comes on the show this time every year, right before Valentine's Day, and just gives us a little pep talk on, some things we need in the love and in the relationship area. And we love having him here. Again, his book, Never Settle. Please look for that. His name again is Trevor Trio Scott. He has some great advice, great tips and tools for your love blueprint. So make sure you all are checking that out, and hopefully it changes your life or just imparts or inspires something within you as it has done for me. In the meantime, God willing, as I always say, I will be here same time, same place next week, different show. And I love you all for watching, and I love you all for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.